Today we got something very special. As Jeremy Clarkson would say, it's a Jag. And if you have ever played GTA V, you are, well, very aware of this car. I'm very excited to review this, so let's get it started. Okay, now let's talk about the exterior of this car, starting with its very iconic headlight design. I mean, this daytime running light is absolutely menacing. And if you've seen that clip of like this car being chased by cops and then them outrunning the cops, if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. You know how good this car looks. And I have to mention that the front end, especially the front bumper, is designed quite beautifully. The hood of the car is long. That's due to the fact that this car also comes with a V8 version, which is, well, a large engine. But I have to say, this car is absolutely beautiful. Now, let's move on to the back. Now, at the back, you'll realize that the car is very thick. It starts slim and it gets thicker, which we love. And something I do have to mention is the dual tailpipes, which is centered. It looks quite amazing. And overall, this car is literally one of the most beautiful cars I've seen. And what you might not notice seeing it on camera, but seeing it in real life, is the body lines of this car. Just, you can literally see the car coming in and then out like this. It's just quite beautiful. Now, let's move on to the interior. Before I do, quick reminder, please subscribe and like this content, because the more you subscribe, the easier it will be for us to get cool cars like this, for us to review and for you to watch. Thanks guys. Okay, now let's talk about the interior. This car was made in 2014, and I gotta say, for a 2014 car, the interior design is, well, it looks like it was made last year, to be honest. So all of that, props to Jaguar for that. And it does remind me of Land Rover, because the gear lever looks like a Land Rover one. The Meridian sound system, it does remind you that this is owned by the Land Rover group. But I have to say, this car's interior is very driver focused. There is a handle here which prevents the passenger from accessing all the, well, the controls here. But overall, it's quite beautiful. All of the materials here are leather. There's no plastic, which is quite good, because this feels like a very luxurious interior. So props to Jaguar for that. Now, the seats. The seats are electronically adjustable. They are sports bucket seats, so it grabs you when you're driving, which is quite good, especially for a sports car, because that's needed. When you're going through the corners, you don't want to be slipping around in your seat. So props to Jaguar for that. Now, here in the interior, if you look at the instrumental cluster, there's two analog displays and a digital display in the middle, which can be controlled by these buttons here. And this is where you get your cruise control settings, which is quite nice. And this is where all of your infotainment controls are. Your AC controls are right here, which is quite good, because they're kind of, well, they are manual, so that's very easy to adjust when you're driving. Let's just push that down. My bad. Cool. Now, these switches here are something I absolutely love. They're very, very high quality. And here's a pretty cool feature. Now, if you turn on the AC, if you press it, that's gonna pop up. That's pretty cool. Now, these buttons here, so this is how you turn your traction control off. You got your electronic parking brake here, and this is to control the exhaust. So this option only came with the F-Type S and the V8 version S as well. It doesn't come in the standard car, which is nice. Your terrain response system is here, volume controls, and overall, when it comes to the interior, it's quite beautiful. Okay, let's talk about the engine price and specs on this car. So this is the V6 supercharged S version. So this gets 375 horsepower and 460 newton meters of torque, which is, well, it's honestly, that's enough power for this car.
And it sounds like this.
It has a 8-speed single clutch gearbox, which is good. I mean, you don't really need a dual clutch, so single clutch works just fine. And it's rear wheel drive, which is quite cool, because rear wheel drive cars are, to be honest, more fun rather than all wheel. All wheel drive might get to the corners pretty well, but rear wheel drives are too much fun. And another thing I do have to mention is the fact that this car comes as a coupe, which is this, or a coupe or a roadster, and a convertible as well. But I think this looks better than the convertible, to be honest. And this car is currently for sale for $65,000. It's only got 100,000 kilometers on its clock. And if you are interested, you can drop us a message or leave a comment. Okay, so this car gets 20-inch wheels as standard, and this car is for sale, so you do get these Pirelli P0s, which is kind of cool. And there's enough tread left on them as well, so if you're buying this car, you're gonna get a pretty good deal. Okay, let's talk about the cool features of this car, starting with the way the bonnet opens. So I'm gonna open this door. We've got a very cool car parked over there. That's why you're hearing revving noises. But it's a Holden, sorry. So this hood opens this way. Now mechanics might not like this, but this is something really cool because, as you know, the old Jaguars, the classic Jaguars, had the hood opened that way as well, and they continued with this. So props to Jaguar for that. The second coolest features being is this door handle. So if you unlock the car, it's gonna pop out. That's a pretty cool touch for a 2014 car. Another cool feature is that, I didn't mention this while I was doing the exterior. Now this is a spoiler and it pops out when you're doing over 100 kilometers an hour or over 60 miles per hour. So this just pops up, which is pretty cool. Okay, now the third and most important feature is that the value for money you get in this car. I mean, it is one beautiful car. It drives amazing, it sounds amazing, it looks, well, as you've seen, it looks quite beautiful, and this car produces enough power. For 65,000 you get all of that, and to be honest, that's a pretty cool feature on itself, and that's thanks to, my friends, depreciation. Okay, let's talk about the annoying features of this car. So if you bought this car brand new, it would have costed you over $100,000, and depreciation hits like a bitch when it comes to sports cars, and this car is, well, a victim of that.
One annoying feature from this car is the boot space. As you can see, it's pretty small, but who cares if you drive that car?
Okay, another annoying feature is the fact that this car's infotainment system aged poorly compared to its competitors, the BMW M4 and the Audi RS5. So this infotainment system didn't do well when it came to aging, unlike the exterior of this car. Okay, so let's go for a drive in the Jag F-Type. Starting with comfortability, it is, well, the suspension is very stiff, so you do feel every little bump on the road, but you're driving a Jag, as Jeremy Clarkson said, so it doesn't really matter. And throttle response is actually amazing. The second you put your foot down, it goes, and when it comes to the way the car sounds, that's pretty amazing as well. I mean, the way this car sounds, this V6 supercharged engine, it is an absolute beauty. I mean, I've heard V6 engines before, but this is something very special. I mean, just listen to this. That was a bit of a small rev, but that just sounds amazing. Let me just put it to neutral and then rev it. Okay. Wow, just wow. That's got to be the best V6 I've ever heard. I mean, it is supercharged, which gives it a bit of an advantage, but it sounds pretty amazing. I have to say, the steering is quite amazing. It's very responsive. All you have to do is just point the car where it needs to go, and it delivers. It literally delivers. It's one of the best handling cars that I've driven so far. We've tested a few cool cars in this channel, and when it comes to steering and agility, this car's steering response is quite amazing, especially for a rear-wheel drive car as well. And for everyday driving, yes, this car is pretty amazing, but when you are driving interstate and you need to, well, put the floor down, this is the car to get. So if you need a sports coupe, this is the car to get. This is literally the car to get. So yeah, that's where we will leave it. Okay, final thoughts. Father, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course. To be honest, this car looks amazing. I mean, look the front bumper, beautiful. And to be honest, one of the best cars I've ever driven so far. And yeah, pretty comfy, like the technology is amazing, and I think that's it. What about you, my man?
I think this car looks amazing. I mean, it's literally one of the most amazing cars when it comes to design, and the interior is pretty comfy and luxury as well, because, well, Land Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar, same brand, not the same brand, but the same parent company, and the interior is quite beautiful. When it comes to driving, it is an amazing car. The way the car sounds is literally the best V6 I've heard so far, and throttle response is a bit laggy, but I think when it comes to driving, when it comes to everyday use, this is the perfect sports car you can get for this amount, which is $65,000. So for $65,000, I think It's so much value for your money. And if you had the money, would you get it?
Yeah, of course.
I think I would get it as well. For
I would.
65,000, you don't get a better deal than this. So yeah, if you are interested, drop a message, send an email, or leave a comment down, and we'll put you in contact with the owner. And yes, it's for sale in South Australia. It's only got 100,000 kilometers. It looks quite phenomenal. Interior is in perfect condition. Exterior is in perfect condition as well. There's no major alerts when it comes to the paint. The paint is in good condition as well. So overall, it's a pretty amazing car, pretty well maintained by the owner. So props to him for that. And yeah, if you're interested, drop us a message, and yeah, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Don't forget it.